Humanity's quest for power led to endless conflict until they were forced to unite against a greater threat. Despite their unity, humans left destruction in their wake, marching blindly toward extinction. Their weapons of mass destruction failed to cripple their enemy, who has survived and prospered. Jacinto stands as humanity's last bastion, a desperate defense against impossible odds. The enemy expresses pity for humans while noting that humanity brought this war upon itself. Soldiers discuss enemy forces growing bolder and moving deeper into their territory. They mention receiving reinforcements, but question how long that support will last. A soldier named Anya mentions heading to a hospital to check on a lead. Private Ben Carmine reports for duty to Sergeant Phoenix of Delta Squad as a new trainee. Dom introduces himself, and they discuss their histories in the Pendulum War. Carmine mentions having brothers who were gears, including Anthony, who died in service. Sergeant Phoenix teaches Carmine the olden rule of combat: take cover or die. He instructs the rookie on proper technique during firefights. The squad encounters strange monkey-dog creatures that typically travel in packs, prompting them to remain alert and utilize cover. After combat involving grenades, the squad investigates an area called Ravenswood. Phoenix orders Carmine to return to the convoy drop-off point, while the rest of the team moves forward to investigate a Locust raid at a hospital. Delta Squad positions themselves at hospital windows to ambush Locust forces. They notice patients suffering from Rustlung, an Imulsion sickness that has increased since the Lightmass Bomb. They execute their ambush plan, targeting fuel tanks to maximize damage. Delta Squad regroups with Carmine and other gears to continue fighting. Dom expresses intense anger, stating he missed his family and will kill every enemy they encounter. After the battle, Phoenix commends the team, especially Carmine, for their performance. Anya reports that a Jane Doe fitting a description was found, but has no further information, disappointing Dom, who is seeking leads. Marcus offers support to a visibly upset Dom. A reflection on humanity's long history of war follows. Initially fighting for resources, country, and freedom, the focus has shifted. Jacinto represents humanity's last hope, as it's the one place enemies can't dig through. Landdown is identified as the strategic location to counterattack. A leader declares that to ensure humanity's survival, they must locate where the enemy lives and breeds. This day marks taking the battle to the heart of enemy territory. Ty rejoins Delta Squad after losing his own squad. Control directs them to a monument in the center of town as the best drilling location. The team encounters creatures called tickers, used by Locusts as landmines. The squad discusses how Landdown has been under Locust control for years, despite being close to Jacinto. They question why this assault wasn't launched earlier. Control guides them toward a tunnel, leading to their destination. Delta reports reaching the drill zone and positioning their left. Communications with the surface are temporarily lost after drilling begins. The two splits up to find Carmine, who has become separated. Control reestablishes communication and warns about grindlets potentially dropping from ceilings. Delta locates Carmine, but discovers Echo 5 is down. They prepare to head deeper into the hollow, investigating reports of seismic activity beneath Ilima City. A conversation reveals information about a rockworm, an indigenous cave creature that feeds on glowing plants. It's described as nearly indestructible, with gunfire having no effect on it. The group observes that the creature isn't paying attention to them as they navigate through the area. The team discusses a fearsome Locust enemy they encountered, who cut through a tank and made another Locust named Rom look like a pushover. They split up to navigate different paths, with Marcus taking the high road left while someone else takes the right route. The group explores what appears to be a staging area rather than a full base. A young soldier expresses doubt about seeing the surface again, but the sergeant reassures him they will. The team encounters enemies that provide sniper practice opportunities. Delta Team communicates they're too deep for surface contact as Alpha 2 begins their mission. They experience mortar fire but are unable to maintain contact. The team wonders about the Locust's origins, with one theory suggesting they came from Russia or one of the moons and feed on Imulsion. The team discovers an unnatural cave formation with evidence of fighting. They realize Locusts are strategically sinking cities, Tollen, Montevado, and Ilima, that surround Jacinto, apparently punching holes to sink it. Control informs them that KR-5 is down in the Ilima sinkhole. Delta follows a smoke flare, cautious that others might follow the same trail. They reunite with Cole, who saved them in a difficult situation. They learn that Barrett and Tanner got separated after the drop, with Tanner confirmed dead. Control redirects the team to assist in searching for the missing. The team discovers that giant worms are creating tunnels and causing cities to sink. They find evidence of Locusts, taking human prisoners and processing them. Barrett is rescued, and they discover Locust tactics have changed to include capturing and torturing humans. Delta reports to Control about the prisoner situation and the death of Ty. Control expresses condolences and assigns a new objective. The team heads to a rooftop landing zone where a raven is coming to extract them, but they end up inside a giant worm. The team awakens inside the giant worm that's responsible for sinking cities. Instead of just escaping, Marcus insists they kill it first by ripping out its heart. They navigate through the worm's digestive system, seeking vital organs while dealing with the grotesque interior environment. After successfully killing the worm, the team requests extraction, but instead receives new orders involving a declassified operation related to a Locust Queen. They're skeptical, but acknowledge it's their last shot. They deploy to a location that appears to be a warehouse hiding something significant. The team discovers the Jameson Depot requires proper identification for entry. Using explosives to bypass security, they enter the New Hope research facility, where an AI named Niles controls the security systems. The facility has extensive security measures and appears designed to keep people out. Navigating through the New Hope facility, the team encounters odd security protocols and automated messages about cleanliness and standards. They're forced to split up to disable security turrets and discover mysterious stasis tanks that contain unidentified subjects that aren't POWs. A confrontation takes place in a restricted facility where unauthorized individuals attempt to access computer terminals. A security system with an AI based on Niles' personality warns about trespassing and mentions that proper access will prevent unpleasant occurrences. Despite the warnings, Jack successfully breaches the security system. The team discovers audio recordings mentioning a trip to Mount Kedar and transportation of subjects. The recordings reveal that Niles created a semi-sentient security system based on his personality. When accessing this information, the team awakens something called Sires, which appears dangerous. The group decides against trying to help whatever is contained in the facility. The team works to shut down the security system and escapes amid environmental hazards including razor hail and reaver swarms. They obtain critical data about the entrance to the mountain and prepare to move on, acknowledging the difficult path ahead. The squad returns to Locust Territory, where visibility is poor. They use spotlights to navigate the dark environment. They encounter survivors who explain that the surface is no longer safe, and that even their underground hiding place has become dangerous, as Locusts are now kidnapping people. The survivors mention Nexus, the Locust stronghold, To reach it requires crossing a dangerous lake. The squad splits up. Cole and Baird will escort survivors to the surface, while Marcus and Dom continue on foot toward Nexus. Before leaving, Dom shows a picture of his wife Maria to an old man who says her face seems familiar. The old man reveals that Maria might have been with a group that was captured and taken toward Nexus or war camps. He provides directions to find these camps via a path near the dam. The team coordinates with Control about their plan to infiltrate the Nexus stronghold, with grind-lift reinforcements awaiting their signal. Dom expresses concern about Maria being in such a dangerous place. The duo continues through an ancient-looking path that they hope will provide a surprise route into the Locust City. They navigate across a lake and approach areas with lit torches, suggesting they're entering through an unguarded entrance. Conflict arises between Marcus and Dom about the mission. Dom insists on searching for Maria at war camps, while Marcus emphasizes their primary objective to activate the beacon in the stronghold. Dom reminds Marcus about his own father, causing Marcus to reluctantly agree to help search for Maria. The team searches a facility for captured humans. Dom takes point as they try to avoid Locust patrols. They check terminals for information, finally locating Maria. The reunion is devastating, as Maria appears to be in terrible condition. Dom is forced to make a heart-wrenching decision, ending her suffering. After the emotional encounter with Maria, Arcus consoles Dom, acknowledging he did what was necessary. They discover the entrance to Nexus, identifying a central tower as likely the Queen's palace. They decide to activate the beacon once deeper inside to ensure reinforcements land on solid ground. The squad pushes toward the palace through a network of tunnels. They observe signs that the Locust have created an extensive civilization quickly. The team discovers that regular Locusts are fighting against glowing Locusts called Lambent, explaining why the Locusts have been desperate in their surface raids. The team learns the Locust plan to sink Jacinto, which would flood the Hollow. Through recovered data, they discover Adam Phoenix, Marcus's father, in Locust computers. Marcus realizes they need to sink Jacinto before the Locusts do, not after, as a way to defeat both threats. The squad finally confronts the Locust Queen, who acknowledges their plan to sink Jacinto. She claims their strategy won't work, as she has already sent an army to Jacinto to prevent them from executing it. The Queen recognizes Marcus as Adam Phoenix's son, revealing she knew his father, who apparently spoke highly of him. A confrontation escalates with someone ordering Scourge to destroy enemies. Someone escapes on a Reaver flying creature. The group discusses prioritizing returning to Jacinto rather than pursuing the escaped Queen. They decide to move out and find more Reavers to ride, despite concerns about taking control of these creatures. The Queen is sending all forces to prevent the sinking of Jacinto. There's urgency to execute the plan immediately. Work is progressing as quickly as possible, with evacuation of most civilians from Jacinto already complete, though more time is needed to evacuate gears from the Hollow. The squad's efforts are acknowledged. Plans to sink Jacinto are being finalized. When this information was first shared, it seemed insane, but now it appears that someone's father had been right all along. Locust troops breach the courtyard, requiring immediate defensive action. Delta Team works to prevent enemies from breaching command. All available Ravens are evacuating citizens or preparing for the bomb drop. Resources are stretched thin, with personnel having to serve as support for the operation. A plan is formalized to sink Jacinto, involving an underground cavern near the Locust sinkhole. A strategically placed Lightmass Bomb would complete Jacinto's collapse. Due to Cedar and Nemesis infestation, helicopter delivery is impossible, requiring ground forces to clear the target area. Team members split responsibilities, with some assisting with the bomb, while others head underground. The team reports being approximately half a kilometer from the sinkhole. Meanwhile, the bomb is being loaded onto a chopper and should be headed to their location within minutes. They plan to be in position by the time the bomb arrives and will report when they've reached the tunnels below. A philosophical reflection emerges about how fate can suddenly transform the world beyond recognition. Everything cherished and familiar vanishes into distant memory. Despite good intentions, the legacies left behind often differ from what was intended. The weight of loss and unexpected consequences hangs heavily in this moment of crisis.